deepest doubt, something brilliant blooms. Look at you now, you shine right through. Turn every day into something you do. You never hope us move right through. Show the world what our heart can push through. This is what possible looks like. This is what rising feels like. Look at you now, you shine right through.
My apprenticeship involves a lot of different things. I've got my apprenticeship work, I've got to do that 6 hours a week. I'm shadowing different colleagues. And then we've also got a working side, so I've worked in the finance division, I've worked in consumer, leading stakeholder relationships, leading walkthroughs, doing work papers, Excel workbooks, and using AI like Microsoft Copilot. Here at Lloyds, we love to engage in these new AI technologies, so it's really good that we're moving forward with things like that. The best bit I think I like about the apprenticeship is there's different trips to different places at different times. Last week I had a big audit event and I was up in London, so that was a really nice experience to go, get accommodation, have a nice time in the city and explore. Apprentices can get a wide variety of different things out of the programme. I think first you look at something like a salary, you know, you're going to get paid a lot to do this job. It's a big qualification that you also get. You know, in my internal audit apprenticeship, I first start on the level 4. I become an internal audit practitioner within the first 18 months. I then move on to the level 7 and I get a qualification that's equivalent to a master's, and I also become a certified internal auditor. So having these big, well-recognised professional qualifications, they look great on your CV, they're going to give managers confidence in you, they're going to help your career further down the line. And I think lastly, the main thing is you get a sense of community. Everyone's so welcoming, everyone loves to have a chat, you can make new friends and all sorts of new connections, and developing those relationships, that's what life's about. So I think those are 3 massive things that I've enjoyed about working here.
New skills, new courage, new voices heard. Different paths, one stronger word. We backed each other, mile by mile. Made better work, made bigger pride. From first mistake to trusted ground, we found our rhythm, we found our sound. What we build will last and grow. In every open place, what the room can see it, what the world can do. Every door we opened up for you. Shine on, we earned this moment. Build it up, build it high, we're just getting started. Shine on, the future knows it. We earned this moment, and it's ours tonight. Look at this room, look at this fire. All that we learned lifted us higher. One shared path, one brave step more. This is what we were made for. Shine on, we earned this moment. Build it up, build it up, build it high. We're just getting started. Shine on, the future knows it. We know we earned this moment, and it's ours tonight. Shine on, future. Build it high, tonight.
Hi everybody, welcome to Skillsfest Live. I'm so glad that you're able to join us today, whether you're joining from your bedroom or school or somewhere else entirely in the UK or somewhere around the world. So my name's Ian, I look after early careers here at Lloyds Banking Group, and my job is designing programs just like this one of Skillsfest to help you as students to be able to build real skills and also start thinking about what your future is going to be.
And I am Ariana, so hello everyone. I work alongside Ian going into schools and running work experiences and helping thousands of students figure out what's next for them. And you know what? It never gets old, does it, Ian?
No, it certainly doesn't. Look, between us, we spend so much time in schools, in colleges, talking to students, talking to parents, teachers, employers, and what we keep hearing over and over again, of course, is the same thing. There's a gap. There's a gap between school, what the school is teaching you, and also what the real world of work is looking for. And Skillsfest exists to try and close that gap, even if it's just a little bit this afternoon.
Yeah, so let's be clear about what today is. So it is not a lecture, it's not a test, and there is absolutely no thing as a wrong answer today.
No, what it is all about interactivity. So you're going to have different quizzes and various things to do. We've got real scenarios, real decisions we're going to ask you to make, and real people sharing their stories as well. So we want you to bring your curiosity above everything. We want you to have a go. We want you to get it wrong sometimes as well, and then see and learn things from that.
So throughout the day, we're going to be using Kahoot. So you might be familiar with this platform already. If not, how it's going to work is you're going to see QR codes on the screen, get your phone out, scan it so that you can take part. So Kahoot is completely anonymous, so this means there's no judgment on whatever you put on it. We just want you to dive in.
Yeah, and the people you're going to meet today, look, they're apprentices from around Lloyds Banking Group. These are real people. They are doing real jobs. You can go and find them on LinkedIn. And they've not come here to give you a polished sales pitch. They've come here to be honest with you about how they got to where they are, what surprised them, and also what they've learned from their experience so far.
Yeah, and if anything you hear today sparks something in you, so perhaps it's a question, a career idea, we would want you to head over to the Connector platform. So you're going to see this QR code to the Connector on various screens throughout today. Give it a scan. It's a really, really brilliant platform, isn't it, Ian? You can access mentors, and there's a whole heap of resources on there for you.
Yeah, including a recap of today as well, just in case you want to go over anything that you missed. So one more thing before we get going, and this is something that we genuinely love. If you look any of us up on LinkedIn today, you'll find behind the scenes footage from the studio. We know that you love everything that's behind the scenes in there, and we love sharing it as well. So go on LinkedIn, take a look.
And while you're there on LinkedIn, we want to encourage you to do something as well. That is write your own story. So we'd love you to post about today. So what did you learn? What surprised you? What did you do? It doesn't have to be long at all. Just we'd love you to be honest.
Yeah, and if you remember to write your own story, what does Skillsfest actually mean to you? So maybe you're at home sitting there at the moment with your pet. We love having dogs, maybe cats walking past the screen. Maybe not today in the studio in there. But we read your stories on the way home from the studio, and we may not be able to reply to everybody personally, but what you need to know is that what you write genuinely shapes the Skillsfest experience. Everything you see today has been built on student feedback from previous events, and your voice matters, so go use it.
Yeah, Ian really does read everything and be doing that on the train home. But Ian, what have we got planned for today?
Yeah, so look, we've got 3 great sessions for you today. We've got Talent Talk. We're going to explore all about apprenticeships at Lloyds Banking Group. And most importantly for those of you in Year 12 or equivalent, what's coming up for starting in September 27. We've got Too Good to Be True, where we're going to be taking you into the world of digital marketing and product development, and also Crime Fighter, where we're going to make you a fraud investigator for Lloyds Banking Group. Each of those sessions is about 30 minutes long, and you've got some breaks in between as well. And then we're going to finish up today with 15 minutes of kind of open Q&A, so you can ask us anything. So down there at the moment in that YouTube commentary, you can see some of you have already been asking questions of us. We'll do a collation of those, and then we'll try and squeeze as much of those as we can in those 15 minutes.
Shall we get into it, Ian?
I think we should get going.
All right, so what's going to happen now is we're going to play you a short video. On the other side of that, I'm going to be joined by some Lloyds Banking Group colleagues for Talent Talk. All right, see you in a bit.
From a place you've outgrown, you don't need another mirror. You can shine on your own. Dream it, do it. The future's yours to make. Every heartbeat is drawing out your way. Give yourself a boost, 'cause there's only one of you. You are good enough. Yeah, the world needs what you do. Hands up if you're done with hiding. Hands up if you're done with can't. Say it loud, I'm more than trying. Watch your courage start to dance. Dream it, do it. The future's yours to make. Every heartbeat is drawing out your way. Give yourself a boost, 'cause there's only one of you. You are good enough. Yeah, the world needs what you dream it, do it. The future's yours to take. You are good enough. Go and set your day away.
Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, I am joined by some fresh faces here, and one of them is Apprenticeship Manager John Banks. Hello, John. Welcome.
Hello, I am certainly not a fresh face, but thank you anyway. So yeah, hello everyone, my name's John, and for the next 30 minutes I'm going to get to do probably the best part of my job, and that's to talk to you about something I genuinely love, which is introducing you to a couple of people here who are actually living the careers that you may think about yourselves. So before we get into that, just to give you a little bit of a view on Lloyds Banking Group. So we've been running apprenticeship programs now for over 10 years. And during that time, we've had more than 10,000 people start with us as apprentices and build real careers through the apprenticeship route. So that's not a small number, 10,000, and we've had a decade of learning as we've gone along. So we think we've got a decent idea of how to support apprentices, and you know, we've been doing it long enough to get some of it right.
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's a lot of experience there. If it's okay, could you just unpack what an apprenticeship is? Because it sounds quite exciting, but I'm not sure if all the viewers know all of the ins and outs and what's involved.
Yeah, so I guess broadly a way of thinking about apprenticeships is it gives you the best of both worlds. So you start in a job where obviously you're earning from the get-go, and then you get paid to go off and do your studies, which I think is pretty darn cool. And you're studying towards a formal qualification that's recognised not just by Lloyds Banking Group in our case, but whoever you're working for and externally as well. And so then at the end of your apprenticeship, which could take anything from 18 months right up to 5 years, you come away with that all-important qualification, but really lots of practical work experience too, which employers really value.
So there's different lengths of apprenticeships, but are they all the same?
They're not all the same, and effectively we have what we call levels of apprenticeships. So in practice you have level 2 through to level 7, and these are meant to broadly align to qualifications that you would know at school. So level 4, for example, is the academic standing and foundation degree. If you then look at the other end, as you climb through the levels up to level 6, that would be the equivalent of a university degree.
So with our viewers today, what does Lloyds offer them?
Yeah, so our programs go from level 3 up to level 6, and basically at level 3 you can join Lloyds with qualification expectations of GCSEs. If you go into level 4 and higher, we would typically ask you to have around 104 UCAS points. It translates differently depending on which qualifications you might be studying.
So what type of apprenticeships does Lloyds offer?
Loads. So there's probably too many for us to call out, but I guess if you think of a couple of broad buckets, we've got our tech and data apprenticeships. So if you're thinking about things like coding and testing and building the digital products that our customers use, and the data science and the AI that powers those products. We've then got the business side. So if you think about roles in finance, in actuarial, in audit, in risk, which is essentially keeping the bank safe.
So there's loads and loads of different types, and there's LBG offices all across the country, but where are these apprenticeships based?
Yeah, so we've got roles in Bristol, in Leeds, in London, in Edinburgh, in Manchester, in Birmingham, right way up the country, as you say. And I guess to give you a flavour of what the role might look like, we operate what we call a hybrid working approach, which pretty means that you're half at home, half in the office. So literally for us, it's a minimum of 2 days that you'd be working in our office. But realistically, when you're early in your career and you're just starting off, you probably want to be in the office a little bit more than that to get a real feel for things and aid your learning. And there's a date to put in your diary right now, actually. So our vacancies for 2027 intake come out at the start of October this year. So if you're hearing some things that get you a bit excited today and you're thinking that's for me, keep that energy and come back to us in October, because it's just round the corner.
All right, John said it, put it in your diary. So you've given us a bit of intel there, but maybe some more you might have for us. So is there anything particularly new for this year that you're offering?
Yeah, well, I guess no surprises really that there's a greater emphasis on all things digital and AI. It's it's big right now. Everybody's talking about AI. So if you think about apprenticeship programs and new ones for us, we're looking at digital product manager. I'll get my words out. Digital marketing manager, and there's a brand new apprenticeship for us this year, which is called user experience design, or UX design for short. But one thing that's really important to remember is tech is for kind of everybody at Lloyds. So if you're not studying computer science at school right now, don't be panicking. You don't need that necessarily to get into one of these roles.
Brilliant, John. So if you want to look more into that, we just go onto the careers website as well to look at those new roles.
Perfect.
Excellent. All right, so I think it's about time for us to introduce our guests.
It is indeed. So really delighted everybody to introduce you to Amy and to Kieran. I've got the easy job now. I'm just going to fire a few questions to the guys. So first of all, can you just start with a quick introduction of yourself and what you do? Amy, we'll go with you.
Yeah, sure. So I'm on the Financial Services Professional Scheme, so that's level 6. I joined the bank in September 2024, straight after doing my A-levels. So been here for about 18 months or so now. So now beginning to have a think about next steps.
Brilliant.
Hi, my name is Kieran. I'm a data science degree apprentice. I've been here now for 2.5 years, so I joined in September 2023. My role in a nutshell is essentially looking at how can we improve our affordability assessments and eligibility assessments of our lending products.
Brilliant. So you're straight into the thick of it already, Kieran. So Amy, tell me what attracted you to an apprenticeship first of all?
I think for me the main thing was being able to get both hands-on experience as well as studying for an academic qualification. That was something that I could only do by studying an apprenticeship. Yeah, that's the main.
Brilliant. Brilliant. And then Kieran, I'll come to you. You know, give me a bit about your story. What have you found about your apprenticeship so far?
So I've really enjoyed it since coming here. I felt really welcome. So I joined actually on a level 4 apprenticeship as well, and then the bank offers so much for you that you're able to progress onto other apprenticeships, which now means I'm able to do my degree. And during that time I've been able to get a promotion as well, so you can progress whilst also learning at the same time, which is really invaluable.
So 2 apprenticeships, one of which is a degree, and a promotion in how long?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, fair play. And Amy, tell me about your journey then a little bit more. What's been a highlight since you've been at the group?
Obviously really enjoyed day-to-day role, but I would say one thing that's really stood out for me is being able to do early careers stuff like what I'm doing today, and being able to speak to others about my experience and hopefully inspire some of you. And then a few weeks ago I also got the degree level apprentice of the year at our Lloyd's Awards, so that was a really nice moment as well.
Amazing, and I'm sure there's loads of people out there that you're definitely going to inspire. Thank you. And Kieran, last one for now. Tell me something about your programme that surprised you. What's been a bit different?
I think how supportive everyone has been since coming here. You are supported from the start. Your team kind of really drives you to be ambitious and kind of direct the career where you want to go. And the whole culture here at Lloyd's kind of allows you to kind of go whatever direction you like. You can reach out to people and learn what you want. If you have come into Lloyd's and you've maybe not necessarily enjoyed your role, there's so many roles you can apply to, and there's so many things you can learn by reaching out to people and just being proactive. So I think one thing that surprised me is kind of being able to direct your own career so long as you put the effort in and you're ambitious.
Brilliant, and getting that responsibility early doors sounds brilliant, brilliant. Okay, now let's have a little chat about values. So almost all organisations will have their own set of values, and these are ways of behaving and seeing the world. So on the slide which has just popped up, these are our values here at Lloyd's. So we have putting people first, we have being bold and trying new things, being inclusive and respecting everyone, and then thinking about sustainability and building trust. Now you might be looking at that and thinking, is that just a little bit of corporate language? It's absolutely not. It's what we are looking for in people that are going to join the organisation. And by the way, a top tip when you're applying for apprenticeships, please look up the values for the organisation that you're looking into, because quite often the interview questions are going to relate to those values. So Amy, Kieran, can you tell us a little bit about the values in terms of how's it been living and breathing there at Lloyd's? Amy, let's go with you first.
So yeah, one of the main things when you start is being bold. That really transpires in your day-to-day role. Because obviously you're joining with very, very little experience in corporate life or even how a bank works. So you've got to take on that responsibility and show that you're able to try new things. Obviously you will be supported by a line manager, but being able to put yourself forward before even maybe you might not feel like you're exactly ready, being able to be proactive and be bold, that's the key thing. And also trust. From day one you're trusted to do what you're asked to do correctly and to your best standard. And with this as well, what I would say is don't struggle in silence. If you feel like something is maybe a little bit more tricky or maybe you need some help, your team and people around the bank would much rather you come and say that earlier rather than later when you've got a deliverable for a client and you're ready to give your pitch in, but you don't know whether your numbers are right or something. So
and that inclusive side of the job I can definitely vouch for here at Lloyd's. Kieran, how about you?
So the 2 values that I'll pick out from the ones on the slide here, first being trust. I think from day one I've been trusted to kind of do my job. I've been able to lead projects, and early on I've been kind of able to help other people within projects as well and take lead with that. And then I think that kind of highlights the inclusivity as well. So we're obviously young students I've came in freshly 18, and straight away it was kind of thrown into the deep end, and you kind of it's including you from the start and making you feel important within the bank. So you can really see those kind of shine through your work at Lloyds.
Brilliant. So really giving that responsibility and trust from right
Early
from the
on.
get-go, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
brilliant. Brilliant. Well, listen, both, thank you so much for all of the insight you've given us, and let's see where our students are up to. It's time for a little poll.
Yeah, we're going to launch a Kahoot poll right now. So just letting you know where you're at. So it's going to be on the screen in a minute. So where do you see yourself when school ends? Is that university, an apprenticeship? Maybe you're not sure yet, or maybe you want to dive into the world of work straight away. So get answering. We're going to see what you've got in store for us in a bit. I'm going to just throw this at you, Amy and Kieran, as well. Did you always know that you wanted to do an apprenticeship, or were you tempted by university?
Yeah, so on results day, I actually had both an offer for an apprenticeship and an offer for university. So coming to that decision was obviously very hard and it took a lot of thought. But my main reason why I chose to do the apprenticeship in the end was I would be studying something similar academic-wise, because I was going to do accounting and finance at uni. But I was also going to be able to, through an apprenticeship, apply those skills that I'd learn directly into a day-to-day role, so I wouldn't have to wait the 3 years until I finished my degree to be able to apply them in a workplace. I've started basically from day one doing that.
Seems like quite hungry
Yeah.
to dive in, actually. Kieran, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't necessarily sure until I really got the offer from Lloyds, and that was kind of past the date of results day. So I didn't know until past results day that I'd been accepted into Lloyds. So initially the plan was to kind of go to uni. I'd applied to study maths at uni and had got in as well. So kind of accepted that, and then after receiving an offer from Lloyds, it was kind of seemed a bit too good to pass up on. So I took that opportunity and always thought, if I never really like it, I can always go back to uni at a later point. So you don't have to stay, obviously, but if you don't like it, and you always have the opportunity to go back at uni. People take gap years all the time. You can always go back. So yeah, I didn't know until literally the last minute, really.
No regrets though, you've stayed.
Absolutely not. I love it here. Yeah.
Amazing. So what we've got at home, can we see on that screen? I think our eyesight needs to get a little better, but I can see uni is that 52%?
52%, yeah, and
Right,
apprenticeship's
okay.
29, is it?
Oh, that's quite interesting. So maybe a little bit more on the uni at the minute, but we're going to delve through. We've got loads more information coming at you.
Yeah, I think what you would say about that's a shift for me. So uni is probably the dominant one today, and so most of the audience are thinking of going down that route. But you rewind the clock back even 3, 4, 5 years ago, I think that apprenticeship number would have been a lot lower. So that's good to see we're going in the right direction.
It's
Yeah.
true. It wasn't really a thing when we were studying apprenticeships.
Certainly for me.
Yeah, certainly the same for me. Thank you guys for all letting us know that. So we've got another poll for you as well. So we'd like to know if you've been listening to what John's been saying, and we're asking you what benefits are there of apprenticeships. So were you paying attention, and what are those benefits? And we'll throw this back at you guys as well. What are the benefits, and is there any benefit that surprised you?
I'd probably say the thing that surprised me the most was how open the senior leaders of the bank are to catching up with you or telling you about their role into the bank. So obviously you sometimes think they're really senior, they won't want to talk to me, I've only just joined the bank, but everyone's so willing to help you and develop you in your career. I think that's one of the main things that surprised me.
Thanks, Amy. How about you, Kieran?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say one fear I had coming into the bank was I've now selected this apprenticeship. This is going to be the career path I'm on. However, since coming here, as I mentioned before, you really get to direct where you want to go in the bank. There's, as I said, everyone's really open here. You can speak to senior leaders and kind of get their perspective, like Amy said, and you can also just speak to many people around the bank, and they're always more than happy to have a chat with you about their role and what they do, and that gives you the opportunity to learn and really direct your career where you want to go.
Thank you, team. So we're seeing some answers on there. Hands-on experience. So what do you think, John? A lot of work experience coming up.
Yeah, experience, work experience,
while you
hands-on
learn.
experience. while you learn. Somebody was listening for sure there.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing all of those. Do you know what? Should we set them a bit of a task here with a true
Go on.
or false? Okay, so we've got a true or false for you, talking about with apprenticeships. So how many apprentices are there in Lloyds currently? So shall we have a look? So there are over 1,000 apprentices in Lloyds currently. Is this true or is this false?
Fingers on the buzzers.
You know this, don't you? You know
I
the
know
answers,
the
don't you,
answer.
John? I'm going to throw a question at you though as well, because obviously with your job as an apprenticeship manager, what's the most rewarding thing for you?
Oh, God, the most rewarding thing. I guess this sounds corny, but I'm sitting beside these two guys who've come into the organisation. Caden said he was 18. He's got a promotion after a couple of years. He's got a degree under his belt. And I guess it's seeing people come through the organisation, learn these skills, and all of a sudden get things like promotions and go on to start having a career with Lloyds or another employer, you know.
So you see that growth, and you're also part of that growth
Yeah.
as well.
Well, I'm lucky that this is my day job. I get to work with these guys every day.
That's brilliant. Okay, so what have we got here? Have we got our results in? Yes. I think that's... Oh, okay, majority saying true. Majority saying true. I'm going to hand over to the expert here. Is that right?
We should have asked for a number, shouldn't we? But it is true. It is true. So big percentage have got that right. So well done, everybody. So the actual number is we've got 1,300 apprentices who are on programme right now at Lloyds. Yet despite the fact that apprenticeships have become more popular choice, as we saw from the poll where we're scaling apprenticeships up, we still see students confused every year by some of the myths that are out there. So we're going to try and do a little bit of myth busting. So myth one, and Kieran, I'm going to come to you on this. Apprenticeships are for people who aren't really good enough to get a level 6 qualification.
In the traditional sense, that is how it's been in the past. I imagine go back 30 years maybe, university was probably more glamorised in terms of who can go. However, now apprenticeship can be just as good. As I said, I'm getting a degree equivalent qualification here, so completely not true, that myth. Yeah, it's just as good these days, if not, I'd say better.
Brilliant. And Amy, one for you as well. Again, you've got the university choice, you've got the apprenticeship choice, so there's I guess noise out there that with an apprenticeship you might not get quite the same lifestyle and social elements as you would at university. How have you found that?
Yeah, so within Lloyds there's lots of different networks. We have our Aspire network, which is solely for our next gen talent, so whether you be an apprentice, a graduate, or on your industrial placement, or even an intern, you'll have access to that network, and we often have events planned and do things as a social hub. So whether that be London, Manchester, Bristol, anywhere across where there is a Lloyds office, you'll be able to partake in events. And also as well, when you join, it's not just you joining, there'll be other people in your cohort, and equally there's times where you'll arrange to meet up with them and do like learning development days. That's really nice as well, so you're not alone in your journey as an apprentice.
Brilliant, really brilliant. And you know, I can testify for that. So these 1,300 apprentices dotted all around the country. You have almost your little community hub. So we'll have a London hub, as we're in London today. You'll have an Edinburgh hub, and it's not just learning development, which is a brilliant addition, but there are socials as well, and people kind of not out every single weekend, but there's a lot that goes on. Cool.
Brilliant. So, if an apprenticeship has sparked your interest, John, what I think we need to do is explain a bit about the process. So, if somebody did want to get onto one of these schemes, what's the Lloyds application process like?
Yeah, so there'll be a slide coming up in a moment. Ours is pretty simple, really, in that you apply online, and it is literally an online application. So we don't have CVs at Lloyds. Some organisations will, but we go for an online application. We'll then normally invite you to some kind of online assessment. So stage one is your application form, then you'll move through to an online assessment. And don't worry, when you get to that online assessment, we have a practice zone, so you'll be able to have a little bit of a go at some of the questions that you might be asked just to get you ready. And then following the online test, you'd move on to potentially an assessment centre, which could be either face-to-face, it could be a virtual assessment centre. And effectively in that, you'll do some interviews, you'll do some group exercises, and you'll do this alongside other candidates. And if you're successful at that stage and all goes well, you'll be offered the role to start in the September of the following year.
And Amy and Kieran, since you're here with your expertise, is there anything that you'd give as advice, or maybe some, in hindsight, of the application process for everyone watching?
Yes, I'd say the key thing is to be genuine. So don't just say something because you think that's what your interviewer wants to hear. Just be true to yourself as well. So if you do say fabricate what you say in your assessment centre, or you're not exactly truthful, and then you actually get into the job on day one and say your line manager says, "Oh, you said you can do this in your interview, why can't you do it now?" Then you're putting yourself on the back foot already. So being clear about what you can and can't do is really important. And I would also say all of you guys are doing the right thing here by attending this session, But what I'd say as well is focus on not just putting it on your CV, but really taking the time to evaluate what you've learnt from the experience. And even if it's just adding a few bullet points on your CV about what you've actually learnt rather than just saying you attended, that'll be really valuable, and employers will take that very, very seriously.
Brilliant. I can really resonate with that as well. One of the sayings we have at Lloyd's is be your authentic self. So as Amy says, don't be trying to kid somebody on or kind of imagining that's what an employer wants to see. Bring yourself, bring your personality, bring your interest, and that's what employers will buy. Kieran, I'm going to flip it a little bit then. So if you think about the assessment process, what does sometimes people get wrong?
I'd probably say a reliance on your grades to do the work sometimes. So just as important as grades, it's really good to be personable here, really have a good kind of connection with people, be able to be confident, proactive, and going and getting what you want. So in an interview process, you kind of need to know the ins and outs of your program, make sure you know it really well, what kind of role you're applying to as well, because then if not, that will kind of really show within your interview, and the person's going to see straight through you if you're not genuinely passionate about that. And then leading on from that passion should be able to lead you to be able to ask some thought-provoking questions. So a top tip in an assessment centre is make sure you ask a thought-provoking question, not just a question to tick a box, but make sure you are making the assessor think and challenge them with your question as well.
Thanks, Kieran. It shows you've got real experience there, that you've thought about that. Yeah. It's a really good tip to take. Also, I'm going to come to something where I know you're a bit of a mentor as well, on the Connect platform. What do you think to the resources out there? Do you think students should utilise them? Is there any advice you give on what maybe you used?
Yeah, so as Ariane said, I'm a mentor on our Connector platform. So if any of you guys feel like you need a bit of support, or you need someone that will, if you're even not sure about what route you want to go down, I'm always happy to help. So feel free to message me on there. And we also have lots of other things available on that platform. So if you sign up, then you'll be first to know when our opportunities go live. And there's lots of different learning modules on there as well. So really worth checking out.
Yeah, check it out. It's only going to put you in good stead, isn't it? So I'm going to just get us to do a little bit of a Coop poll right now, which is, now that you've heard about our opportunities, to what extent is LBG your preferred choice of employer? So if we get that up so we can get your answers in, while we wait for your answers, John, you've got a final question for these guys, haven't you?
The guys are thinking, thank goodness it's a final question. So I'm going to put you on the spot here last time though. So if you were going to sum up your apprenticeship experience, Amy, in 3 words, give me your 3 words.
Oh, that's a tough one. I would probably say collaborative, challenging, and finally the best one, rewarding.
Rewarding, brilliant, love that. And Kieran, how about you?
I'm going to go with valuable, interesting, and also reiterate the rewarding.
Okay. What you both said reward there. What is it about the reward? Is it a financial reward? Is it the team environment? Is it your qualification?
I'd say all of what you've just said. The financial reward is obviously good as well. You're not getting into university debt. And then the reward you get to have a graduation day as well, as if you was at uni as well. So very rewarding.
Official Lloyd's colours and cap and gown.
Yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. How are we going with the poll?
Yeah, I feel like we're still getting some answers in there. And we're kind of coming to the end of this session as well. So I've got to say a massive thank you to you, John, and Amy and Kieran. And is there anything you want to do to wrap up?
Oh, just to say a huge thank you to the guys. As I said, I'm fortunate enough I do this for a living. I work in early careers alongside Ian. But huge thank you for sharing your experience today. I'm sure there'll be many students listening to this thinking that sounds like it's up my street.
Oh, and look at the results there as well, with LBG getting a good old 4 as majority there, so that's pretty decent. And thank you for all of your sharings for that. So massive thanks again. These two, you're done for the day, but we might see you on more of these. Or if you want to get Amy as a mentor, get onto the Connector platform. John, you will actually be back for our Q&A. So if you've got any questions for him, now's the time to think, so you can ask him a little bit later. So submit them through the chat if you want to as well now. But thank you for joining. We are now going to go to a 15-minute break. So a bit of a comfort break, go stretch your legs, get away from the screens. And on the other side, we'll be going back for Too Good to Be True with Ian. All right, enjoy your break.
Every stumble puts a new mark on you, proof that you climbed
as a software engineer, I get to coordinate with DevOps engineers, I get to coordinate with product owners, customer journey managers, engineering leads. So these are lots of different people who do lots of different things, but the core of it is to produce a product that our customers value. What I'm currently working on right now is a front-end engineering role. We have a product that needs revamping. As part of the rebranding process, I'm taking a front-end development kit and using that to revamp the product to make it look better, enticing and more attractive to our customers. So when it comes to the fun social part, where do I begin? There's just so much you can do within Lloyds. We have a multitude of networks. So for example, I'm part of the Aspire network as well as the Bold network. The Aspire network is a network by NGT, which is Next Generation Talents, which is our graduates, apprentices, T-levels, interns, industrial placement students. So what we like to do is develop networking opportunities so they can speak to other apprentices, grads, and learn from each other. And as part of BOLD, which stands for Black Organization, Leadership and Development, we get to have lunch together, host incredible events that allows us to express our culture. So it's October soon, and we've got a lot planned for Black History Month, and it's just absolutely incredible because Lloyds allows us to do stuff like this.
Static in the hallway. Every step someone's a can. I've been shrinking in the doorway just to fit inside their plans. But that echo's getting boring. Same old script I've heard before. So I'm scrolling past the warnings. Feet already at the door. They keep talking in my left ear, like they know what's right for me. But my right side ringing crystal clear, with a future only I can see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I turn the doubters down, down. Like a song I'm over now. Turn my inner voice up loud, let it shake the whole room out. If you don't get the vision, that's fine. You don't have to walk this line. I'm tuning out the noise tonight and turning up the me inside. Oh, I'm turning up the me inside. Never afraid of what they can't see. Call it crazy so it feels small, but the picture in my head's 3D, color spilling off the wall. Every never's just a rerun. I've deleted from the queue. I'm already on the next one. Got a different point of view. You keep talking in my left ear, trying hard to keep me still, but the right side humming right here, beating louder than your doubt and fear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I turn the doubters down, down. Like a song I'm over now. Turn my inner voice up loud, let it shake the whole room out. If you don't get the vision, that's fine. You don't have to walk this line. I'm tuning out the noise tonight and turning up the me inside. Oh, I'm turning up the me inside. Walk forward, even when it's dark ahead. One step, every no becomes a threat. I'll weave something you can't comprehend. Till then, I'll believe, I'll believe. I turn the doubters down, down.
I'm a risk apprentice, so I work within our business and commercial banking team. And in my day job, I get involved in assessing lots of different commercial account portfolios. We assess their account applications for any risk or any potential risks, and we'll compare it with our risk framework. And then if there's any kind of triggers or red flags that come up, we'll then liaise with our different teams. So that could be due diligence teams or anti-money laundering teams, just to make sure that everything's within the group's appetite. And it's really exciting because we get to involve ourselves with lots of stakeholders, never a boring day. From the apprenticeship perspective of things, it's been really, really valuable to have been part of a community, I think, from day one, especially when we had our next generation talent activation event where everybody was under the same roof and got to meet, the 600 different graduates, apprentices, and everyone that came together. The culture is very people first and very community. I think when we say that we're by your side, or when we say that we're faster forwards, we really are. And we do it in all of our interactions, whether that's an interaction you have with your colleague, with your line manager, or if it's meeting a new member of the team. Everyone's very welcoming and very nurturing and warm, and I think that's something that I've experienced. I started actually in branch, and I think working with people and seeing how we created those meaningful differences to people's lives. And you can really see that everyone's on that mission purpose to help Britain prosper and to really make sure that everyone's on the same page and we're moving forward and faster together.
New skills, new courage, new voices heard. Different paths, one stronger word. We backed each other, mile by mile. Made better work, made bigger pride. From first mistake to trusted ground, we found our rhythm, we found our sound. What we build will last and grow. In every open place, what the room can see it, what the world can do. Every door we opened up for you. Shine on, we earned this moment. Build it up, build it high, we're just getting started. Shine on, the future knows it. We earned this moment, and it's ours tonight. Look at this room, look at this fire. All that we learned lifted us higher. One shared path, one brave step more. This is what we were made for. Shine on, we earned this moment. Build it up, build it up, build it high. We're just getting started. Shine on, the future knows it. We earned this moment, and it's ours tonight. Shine on, future. Build it high, tonight.
All right, welcome back, everyone. As you can see, I am joined back by Ian Brown.
Yes.
And we also have Ben here, who's no stranger to Skillsfest Live. But for those that might not know you, will you tell us what you do at Lloyds Banking Group, Ben?
Yeah, so hello everybody, my name is Ben and I'm currently a Group Corporate Treasury Apprentice here at Lloyds Banking Group. Been at the group for about 18 months now.
And we were talking about the Connect platform last session and being a mentor. I believe you're a mentor on there as well.
Yes, I'm also signed up like Amy, so if anyone has any questions about what it's like to work at Lloyds, give us a shout there and we'll be happy to respond to you.
Yeah, and Kieran, who was in the last session as well, is also on there. So if you want any of those to mentor, get on the platform. But Ian, back to the task. What are we doing?
Yeah, something new for you. So now we're going to need you to be a detective for the next 30 minutes. So here's a question for you. Has anybody ever bought anything online, been absolutely convinced that it was going to be a bargain, and then it wasn't quite what it seemed? So maybe the price was great, but the delivery was 20 quid. Maybe the trial was free, but you forgot to cancel, and then they got more money out of you. Maybe the reviews were suspiciously perfect. And if that's you, then you're in good company, because the people who design marketing are very, very good at what they do.
Yeah, so we want to launch a Kahoot poll for you right now to see if this has happened to you as well. So we're going to ask you, have you ever bought something online that didn't live up to the hype? So yeah, maybe you got burned, or maybe you haven't and you've been quite careful. Oh, Ian, I don't want to admit this, but it's not just happened to me once, it's happened to me twice. Yeah, buying some clothes online and you realise they're not great and you have to return it, but the return address is in China and you have to pay for it yourself.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't actually realise, do you? Because you buy it and it's come from the UK, and then they've inserted those sneaky conditions that says you can't actually return it to the place, and then you've got very high postage fees. And of course there's a good reason behind that, because what did you decide to do?
Well, I mean, I actually learned that it was a scam and it wasn't even worth posting back. But yes, very sneaky.
Yeah. How about for you? Have you managed to cope with everything so far, or has something got you?
Unfortunately, I fell victim to concert ticket scam a couple of years ago. I don't know if you guys heard of Scissor, but I was dying to go to a concert and I was a bit too eager and I got scammed off Twitter by someone for those tickets. I got my money back though, but lesson learned.
Yeah, lesson learned. So we've got some answers coming back in here. So yeah, it's a bit mixed, isn't there, as well? So there are a few people who think, well, they haven't quite got me yet in there, and all sorts of things in there. But yeah, still almost a third of people who have that experience in there as well.
All right, so hopefully we're going to be more aware after this as well. But it sounds like you're talking about the marketing is it's been around for a long time, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I mean, if you're ever lucky enough to go and see even like ancient Roman sites, you'll see frescoes on walls of people doing marketing 2,000 years ago and probably longer than that. But of course even now it's more prevalent, because in the digital age almost anybody from anywhere can manage to create marketing. You can upload a website from your phone right now, put a post on social media. You don't need to go and paint a fresco or hire an ad agency. You can literally do it all from your own phone.
Right, I'm guessing if you're saying it's that easy, then there's got to be a catch somewhere.
Yeah, there certainly is, of course. There's a good and honest role for marketing, and without marketing you guys wouldn't have known about coming to Skillsfest today, right? But there's also a line where things cross over from being helpful to being manipulative. So what's good for you, the consumer, and what is too good to be true.
Oh, okay, so maybe all those budding lawyers and stuff are kind of getting excited now. Yes, about things being too good to true.
Yeah, lawyers do get excited with good reason, but here's the thing. There are certainly consumer laws and that tell you that people aren't allowed to break these laws, but it's also possible to do something that is technically legal, even if it's not really fair to the consumer, and there's a difference.
Right, so in that situation, I mean, who loses out in that battle?
Well, all of us, of course, really, but some consumers are more vulnerable than others, and often those will be people with inexperience, but also people with impairments. And those are two categories that fraudsters want to take advantage of. And students are often just inexperienced, just because of age, full of big dreams and not enough money to pay for every single one of them. Can you relate to this? Can you remember these periods? And they are particularly susceptible to marketing messages that to others may seem too good to be true.
Why does this matter to Lloyds though?
Well, we've been around for 250 years, and for many families across the country, that's a relationship that's built on trust. So our customers trust us not just to do what's legal, but also what's right. So remember as well though, we're the bank in your pocket on your mobile phone, and when people find that they've bought something that doesn't turn out to be what they expected, so it's too good to be true, they often turn to us to help them get the money back. So the best thing for everybody is to do things right in the first place.
All right, but the big question is, are you able to spot something that is too good to be true?
Well, we're going to put you, the viewers, to the test as we bring in Ben, boss of the bargain. And look, I have to say, in real life, Ben is one of our apprentices, one of the nicest guys around in real life. But just for 15 minutes, we're going to ask him to play the role of Ben's boss of the bargain and see whether he can persuade you to invest in one of his schemes.
Okay, so Ben is going to use any trick of the trade to try and persuade you.
He is, and we want you to see if you can figure out his scheme is too good to be true, and if it is, what psychological tricks is Ben using to see if he can manage to persuade you.
So what we've got coming up is Drive Your Dream, The World is Waiting, and Get Your Kicks. Okay, I can't wait to find out what these are all about.
No, exactly, and remember, spot the tricks, understand what Ben is trying to do so that you can learn these and make better choices for yourselves. Now, we've uploaded some resources to help you out there, so scanning the QR codes when they appear will take you through to the connector site, and then you'll find a resource sheet, so there's the QR code there, and then it will take you through to a resource sheet. You can use that, you don't have to use it, it might just help you to be able to record answers, but equally, if you've just got a blank pen, you've got a pen, blank sheet of paper, that will do as well.
Yep, so scan that connect code. Also, you'll see Too Good to Be True is the one to click on for this particular session. Okay, shall we get started?
Yes, right.
Right, so today we'll be taking a look at something that is right at the heart of what Lloyds Banking Group cares about, the difference between legal marketing and ethical marketing. Because here's the thing, something can be completely legal and still be designed to mislead you. So let's see if you can spot the difference.
So a reminder, you're going to see the pitch, your job, watch carefully, think like a detective, identify the red flags, the moments where something just feels off. What's he hiding? What is he rushing you into making as a decision? And how is he making you feel, and why might he be trying to do that? All right. So, Ben, why don't we tell the audience about your first amazing Drive Your Dream offer?
Yes, well, thank you, Ian. So, imagine the scene. Thanks to all your learning and paying attention during Skillsfest, you've applied for your apprenticeship and you've actually landed it. It's your dream apprenticeship. You've got no worries about student debt because you've got the job you wanted, you've got the training you wanted, and most importantly, you've got the money in your pockets that your mates don't have. And what's a better way to celebrate this massive achievement than to get a brand new, fresh set of Hot Wheels? But a 15-year-old Ford Fiesta is not going to cut it. You have a whole city image to keep up. You need a brand new baby Audi, baby Mercedes. But the problem is, these things don't come cheap. And right now for you, you don't have that 30k in cash to just shell out like that. But that's where I come in. For just £199 a month, I can get you that brand new baby Audi, that brand new baby Mercedes, okay? All you have to do is just put out a small deposit, and then just for £199 a month, you can get your hands on that brand new, cool leather steering wheel from the car of your dreams. So, for just 3 years, you get the privilege of that new car feel right before it starts to get to look old, and we can replace it to you at the end of those 3 years as well. If you love the car, you can buy it off me, but most people just want to move on to the newest model, and I can make that happen for you. We'll just do a small repricing at the end of those 3 years, but that's a long time away anyway. Just worry about that $199 a month, £199 a month for the best brand new car for you right now. You deserve it.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Wow. So basically, you've got the job of your dreams, and now you can drive your dream. And there's this number that keeps coming up, right? What was the number?
199, right?
199.
And just 199.
Only
Just
199.
Yeah, so that got us 3 years of 199, but there was something where he did mention a repricing at the end.
Yeah, something strange happens at the end of this, doesn't it, in there? So if I got it right, at the end of it, do I actually have the car?
Everyone watching, what do you think to that as well? Was there anything that was sort of coming up as red flags? I don't know, green flag though, you get a brilliant car, 199, it's not bad.
Yeah, and it's quite hard, right? You know, when you just got that apprenticeship job, you don't necessarily have all of that money behind you to buy the car, but your job might actually oblige you to drive somewhere. So there's a practical challenge here as well. You need a set of wheels and you don't necessarily have the savings for it. And then along comes Ben and he just goes, I'll just take 199 of this new salary that you've got from your apprenticeship.
Ooh, are we signing up, Ian? We're not sure yet.
I don't know, but you know, in the chat you can share your thoughts on whether we should be signing on the line for Ben's scheme. He's got another one for us.
Okay.
Yes, he does. So this one, Ben, I think here is called "The World Is Waiting," and I can see the words "gap year" appearing on the screen. So
Yes.
tell us all about your next scheme for us.
So, if Drive Your Dreams not for you, I've got something even better, something that can take you across borders in the air. It's all about a gap year. Listen, you're probably around 17, and all you can remember from the past 4 years is just exams and deadlines. Year after year, it's exhausting. I know how you feel. I was in your position not too long ago. And the thought of going to uni straight after all those exams and deadlines, no thank you. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to take a year out. See the world before you're too old to enjoy it and gain valuable experiences along the way. The same kind of experiences that employers would love to hear you have. But the big question is, how are you going to fund this gap year? And where is the money going to come from? Well, my new World Is Waiting scheme allows you to have the gap year of your dreams right now. I know you don't have all the savings you have to pay off right now, so instead what we'll do is we'll draw up a plan for you, and you can tell me where you want to go, what you want to see, and I'll use my specialist contacts to buy all of these grand stuff for you. My industry friends can get all the special prices at a good rate, not just for you, but for me as well. And you can tell me how much money you need as well, and I can sort that out for you. So, all you have to do is just tell me how much you can afford as a monthly payment, and I'll work it all out for you. Don't worry about anything. Don't even lift a finger, because I've got it sorted for you, okay? And I know if you go to uni, you may not have a lot of money coming in. So if you want, we can stretch this out until you actually have the money coming in when you have a job after uni. And you can pay it back during then as well. So remember, employers, they want you to have experience. So you might not even get that dream job without this experience of this gap year. So in a way, it's more of an investment for you if you choose this route. So if you fancy a gap year for just £100 a month, I can make this happen for you. Listen, the world is waiting. You're only young once. How many people put off the trip of a lifetime until they're too old to actually experience it? You owe this to yourself. Life is for living. The world is waiting for you.
Oh,
What a pitch.
my goodness, yes. I'm
positives,
almost,
yeah?
I know, absolutely, because there's a good point there, isn't there? You know, you've worked hard at school. You know, by now, if you're in year 12 or year 13, you've probably been like doing exams for the last 4 years, right? So you probably feel like it's time for a bit of a break. So this sounds super attractive.
Yeah, and to be honest, also you're an employer. You see these CVs application process. Like it was saying a really good point there. This actually be really useful for you for future careers.
Standing out.
Yeah, standing
isn't
out.
it? Yeah.
You know, I also
Yeah.
quite like the stretching of, you know, paying it back. It wasn't like I had to pay it back straight away instantaneously, I think, is what Ben was saying. I mean, I'm looking at him now, I'm not sure. So it was positive there.
I know. So the things that bother me, you can put things in the chat, see what you think might be a few red flags. I guess the thing that I'm thinking at the moment is, you know, Ben said you don't even have to worry about paying this off whilst you're at university. You know, you can go and get a good job and pay it off then. But I'm probably thinking a little bit further ahead and thinking like, well, after university, what have I got on my hands? I've got to find a job,
Yeah.
which is a challenge in itself. Then I've got my student loan that I'm going to be paying back. I've got to be starting to build a life for myself and saving for maybe, hopefully, buying a house of my own at one stage. And then I've got to remember that 5 years ago, I had this chap called Ben who talked me into having a gap year, and I'm still paying him back for a holiday that I can barely find the photos because I can't scroll that far back on my phone.
Oh no, okay, he's very persuasive. I actually did think as well, did he mention interest? Is there interest, Ben?
Well,
Well, it's interesting, isn't it?
it's definitely
He
interesting.
didn't mention it, did he?
I don't think you actually did mention whether we were going to pay interest.
Well, listen, just worry about the gap year and then worry about the experience you're going to get, and we can talk about all those details later, okay?
Yeah,
Details,
he's completely
details.
swerved that, didn't he? Right, so everyone at home, what are you thinking on that one? Red flags, green flags, what's coming to you?
Yeah, also I'd say try and think, if you're sitting on the skeptical side of this one, which I would imagine a number of you probably are thinking, I'm not quite taken in by this one, think about what are the tricks that Ben has used. So again, Ariana, how much was Ben asking for this one?
Well, I don't actually know. He just had really good connections.
Yeah, so
Only
I think it was £100
£100 a month.
A month,
£100
okay.
a month.
Yep.
So he's got us locked in on this idea of 100, 100, 100, 100. Every time you ask a new question of him, he keeps taking you back to, don't worry about it. All you have to remember is £100.
Oh, yes.
So that might be one thing that you might want to think about. He's not done yet.
No.
He's got another one.
No.
He's got one more for us as well. So Ben, what have you got for us as the third idea that you have for our audience today?
Well, last but certainly not least, I have the shoe subscription service. So, guys, be honest, when you meet someone new, you look them up and down because you can tell a lot by someone by what they're wearing on their feet. And there's nothing quite like that fresh feeling of opening a fresh pair of sneakers out of the box. But that feeling comes at a price. And that's only if you get the chance to even get those latest styles without queuing up in Westfield at 2 a.m. So, to avoid that, I have the deal for you. No more sleeping on the pavement waiting to see if you're in luck of getting your new designs for the sneakers. I can literally deliver them straight to your door. And the best bit is, rather than shelling out £100 or £150 for these latest designs, for these sneakers, I only require a small fee starting from just £20 a month. And you'll be able to access some of the latest styles sent straight to your door as well. You can wear them for a few months, look after them as if they were your own pair of sneakers, and when you're bored or in need of a new look, send them back and swap them for something else that's your style. No need to bother with selling on Vinted or eBay to be able to afford those latest styles. It's literally £20 a month. I bet some of you spend more a month on that Mackies before school. So it's a very little fee for the latest trainers every single month. We also have different tiers where you can get more in-demand styles as well that obviously cost a little bit extra due to the extra demand. But that's all. And of course, we'll need you to look after the shoes as well and keep them in a condition where we can still rent them out to other people as well. So we know accidents happen and you can get them wet, step in something a bit messy, but that's okay. Let us review them and we'll let you know how much extra you might have to pay. But it's only £20 a month, guys. And the main thing to remember is that buying these shoes outright with money you don't have is going to be very difficult. £20 a month, I know you have £20 a month. You can get that. And it's only for 24 months as a minimum contract term. And you also have to give us 6 months notice if you want to return the shoes back to us as well. But £20 a month, fresh out the box, a feeling that can't be beaten. But because it's such a good deal, guys, only 10 spots are remaining on my service. So be quick to grab this up because these will run out.
Okay, I mean, I'm feeling the pressure now. 10 spots,
10
to
spots.
get this deal.
And, whilst you were in here with John, I was in the green room watching the chat go. So by now, those 10 spots could have gone, for all I know. The guys in the green room would be able to tell us as they're watching the thing go there. But 10 slots is not a lot.
No, that's
right?
nothing.
So I'm definitely feeling a bit of pressure because he's not really that clear about how much the price is going to go up.
It was interesting how he did say starting price. So I wonder, how, like you said, what does that range to? And also, Ian, something I noticed Ben say was you have to give us 6 months notice that you're going to send your shoes back. So you have to sort of think in advance that you'll probably be bored of them. And then 6 months. So we'll be paying for that shoe for 6 months when it's been returned. So something a bit iffy was there.
Yeah, and also the bit of you can wear these shoes with the fresh out of the box feeling, but if they manage to get muddy or even wet, he may charge you like a fee of some kind for the damage done to the shoes. Now, we've had some really nice weather over the last couple of days, but generally here in the UK it is a place that's known for the rain, really. So having a pair of shoes where you might get fined because you wore them and got them wet.
Yeah, oh, that does sound a bit dodgy there now, looking at that. I wonder what everyone at home is thinking on this.
Yeah. So what do you think then, Ariane, about psychological tricks that you might have been hearing in this? We've got like a few questions that we have here with Ben, but what are you thinking in terms of what's the methods that he might have been using here?
Well, first of all, there was the pressure, wasn't there? And also, I'd say that Ben's particular sales pitch was really getting into that emotional state of, wanting to look good, how important it is to have fresh kicks or, look great. So I think that might have got you hooked in at the beginning as well. And he kept mentioning, because you got this in my head about prices that kept being mentioned in the last one, he kept saying £20 as well a month, even though that's the starting price.
Yeah. Yeah, £20, £20, £20. So we've got that in our head, right? But as you say, if we got this right, Ben, £20 is one tier of your subscription.
Starts at £20.
Starts at £20, but actually for the shoes that I really would be queuing up at 2 a.m. outside Westfield, I don't know for certain whether those shoes are actually in your £20 tier or in another tier. And I won't know until I start.
Yeah.
And once I've started my subscription with you, I'm in for
24 months.
24 months. Okay, that's
not
a
long,
long
it's not
lock-in
long.
period.
That's a long time to wear a pair of sneakers, isn't it? All right.
So we've got a question as well. We're going to give to a poll for everyone at home as well about those. So you've watched all three. You can see on there as well. Put on there, and we want to ask you a quick question. So that is, which marketing pitch had the most red flags for you? So hopefully you were noting down those tricks that Ben was using. So which had the most red flags? Ian, you're a bit of an expert in this. So coming to this, which one would you avoid?
Well, it's difficult to go, this is one for certain, because they've all got their own particular problems in there. Yes, Ben's the master here of diverting you from the detail that you really need. And one of the tricks that he's using in terms of psychology is using something which is called price anchoring. So do you want to reveal and tell them what price anchoring was?
Yeah, so those of you that study economics will hear a lot about this in your subject. But yeah, price anchoring is when someone shows you a big price first, so the next price looks like a really good deal. And yeah, it's a really effective way of marketing products that companies use, and what I use in my examples as well. So.
Absolutely. We're going to get those results in a moment, but another thing that you could see that he was using quite a lot was also flattery, right? What Ben was fantastic at was really creating those kind of really evocative visual images. Imagine yourself standing in those shoes, imagine yourself on that beach in Bali, imagine why, you need to do this because that gap year is going to be fantastic, because it's better to do it when you're young than when you're a bit older in there. So a master there of visual imagery, and that's another marketing technique of kind of the more that we can see ourselves enjoying the product, the hungrier we become for it.
Yeah, he was very good at that.
And one of the weird things in psychology is once we've become hungry for that product, having that product taken away from us becomes almost as if it had actually been taken away from us and that we owned it in the first place.
So that's why those 10 spots were so effective then.
Yeah, and because then when he increases the price, some of us will go with that price increase because we don't want to be deprived of the product that we don't even have. It's a very clever use of psychology in there. So let's see what we've got.
Yeah, so Get Your Kicks was the most with red flag, 58%. Behind though, The World Is Waiting, Drive Your Dream. But Ian, you're telling me none of them are a good, good subscription service.
Well, bless you, Ben, but I don't think any of them are particularly good deals. One for me, I think that would be They all have their problems. The one for me that is the most problematic is the world is waiting, and this is all to do with the length of time in there. So you make a mistake with Get Your Kicks, and that mistake is going to be revealed, and you'll have to rectify it within the next 6 months or 12 months.
24-month contract. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Drive Your Dream, again, kind of like about 12, 24 months in there. The problem with the world is waiting is you could go as far as 4 or 5 years before you realise that this was a terrible deal. And also by that time, Ben might have sold your debt to somebody else, so he may have already gone off and done his own gap year with your money in there. So one of those things with World is Waiting is we don't know what we're going to need or what life is going to be like in 4 or 5 years' time. So there's a really tricky thing there about signing ourselves up into contracts that are so long, and then we find that we can't live the life the way we want to because of a decision that we made so long ago. But they are all problematic, Ben.
Yeah.
But you knew that anyway, didn't
Yes,
you?
of course.
Yeah, it's good to have a bit of an awareness, like you said, look at those fine terms and conditions of everything. I know this is a bit of fun we've had right now, but there is a serious point to this, isn't it, Ian? Looking at like customers and what Lloyds does.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so look, our customers, as we said, they trust us to do the right thing, but also look out for them when they're shopping online as well, because you use your card, you use your Apple Pay and various other things. And since we can all buy stuff, not just in the UK, but also outside the UK, often what we forget is when we're buying things outside the UK, we're buying things where different laws apply. So we may rely on what we think is UK law protecting us, but actually we're buying effectively in another country, and that's a big problem. And online shopping is one of the biggest areas where we can see customers experiencing difficulty at the moment.
And looking also at Lloyds, there are real jobs that line up with this, aren't there? So what are they?
Yeah, so many actually, a really surprising number of jobs. So digital marketing, digital product design, user experience, John mentioned, new apprenticeship coming up in October, look out for that one. Level 6 as well. How websites and apps are designed so that they represent offers and where buttons are, so that's all fair and transparent, commercial legal, fulfillment teams, risk, fraud detection, and of course right now, thank you to all of the Lloyds colleagues who are on the phones right now in our contact centres in Leeds and in Belfast and in Glasgow, because these are the guys who are on the front line looking after our customers and trying to help right wrongs. So there's a new piece of legislation in banking which is called the consumer duty, and that makes things really important because it means we have to stand in the customer's shoes. You have to really think what an ordinary customer would understand in terms and conditions.
Right, so that's really nice to hear what everything Lloyds is doing to sort of protect us. So standing in customer shoes, not Ben's kicks, because we're not signing up to that subscription. Thank you so much, both of you. That's been actually very informative to me. I'm definitely looking out at all those red flags in the future. So everyone, we are going to have a break now. So you've got a 15-minute break. Get away from the screens, and we'll see you on the other end of that after 15 minutes. For Crime Fighters with Maya. But first of all, massive thanks to Ben, because we won't see him again. But Ian, you're back. Back for the Q&A.
Back. I've seen some of your questions in the chat already. We're compiling them during this break time. We will answer as many as we can in those 15 minutes.
Brilliant.
Enjoy your break.
See you in a bit.
Late bus, dark sky.
I am an actuarial apprentice. I'm one of the first at Lloyds Banking Group. This is the first year they are doing it. An actuary uses maths and statistics to help businesses manage financial risks. We project that using data, using loads of actuarial and statistical techniques to help relay that information to the bank. So in sixth form, I studied maths, further maths and physics, and I was always going to go down the uni route. And then I came across apprenticeships, and that's where I came across the Lloyds Banking Group actuarial one. And then in the description it said, if you like maths and critical thinking, I was like, maths, further maths, physics is perfect for me. I was worried I would be chucked into the deep end straight away. They'll guide you through the process, they'll make sure you're doing things right. If you ever do need a hand, there's so many people always available to help you and support you. Apprentices get a lot out of the program. We earn while we learn. We gain a wide range of networks, which is helpful throughout your whole life. And we get work experience. The skills we build now are skills we can use for the rest of our life. In the hubs, there's loads of events that happen normally. So for example, a lot of the teams go out to socials. There's a lot of events just happen in general around the office. In our Bristol hub, we do have a table tennis table, and I'm known for being there all lunchtime. So there's loads of things to get involved with. There's sports every week. We do football every Thursday in the office, and just getting involved as much as you can with so many different activities that come up. Yeah, I definitely feel like I belong here. I definitely feel like actuary is the right thing for me. I'm using maths and developing my critical thinking skills, and I'm going into a field that I would have done if I went uni, but I'm just accelerating that career path by going into the apprenticeship route.
Keep the brighter, crown ready, production going up, building high, we're just getting started. Make it sound pan. The future knows it. We own this moment.
I'm on the level 6 data science degree apprenticeship. It encompasses everything from building machine learning models, using Python code, designing reports and doing software engineering. At the moment I've been working on automation. We've got several reports that we send out to multiple different teams, and I've been writing pieces of Python code so that they can be sent out at a click of a button, and doing some machine learning to understand customer segmentation. I think that apprentices get so much out of the programme. I think the main thing is the work experience. So by the time I've completed my degree, I'll have 4 years of work experience under my belt. I also get the degree that I haven't had to pay for, which is a nice little bonus. As a data analyst, I don't particularly do data engineering, which is building pipelines, and I don't do much software engineering. But as part of the degree, those are 2 modules that take place, so I get to do such a wide range of different skills, and it's great because I get to take those new skills that I've learnt back to my team. My role is based in Leeds, so I get to come into the wonderful Leeds Wellington Place office. However, I have team members in Chester, in Bristol, down in London, up in Edinburgh, which is fantastic because it means that I get to travel around all these different locations, go to all the different offices and explore the different cities.
New skills, new courage, new voices heard. Different paths, one stronger word. We backed each other, mile by mile. Made better work, made bigger pride. From first mistake to trusted ground, we found our rhythm, we found our sound. What we build will last and grow. In every open place, what the room can see it, what the world can do. Every door we opened up for you. Shine on, we earned this moment. Build it up, build it high, we're just getting started. Shine on, the future knows it. We earned this moment, and it's ours tonight. Look at this room, look at this fire. All that we learned lifted us higher. One shared path, one brave step more. This is what we were made for. Shine on, we earned this moment. Build it up, build it high. We're just getting started. Shine on, the future knows it. You know we earned this moment, and it's ours tonight. Shine on, future. Build it high. Tonight.
Welcome back, everyone. So first of all, I want to say massive thanks for asking your questions in the chat, and we have got loads of them, absolute ton to be asking Ian and John, so you don't need to put any more into the chat, but we will get those asked to them in the next session. But I am joined by somebody new right now. I've got Maya here. So Maya, what do you do at Lloyds Banking Group?
Yeah, so hello everyone, my name is Maya and I'm a level 4 software engineering apprentice, but today things are a little bit different. Today I am a crime fighter and you guys will be with me. So financial fraud is one of the fastest growing crime categories in the UK, and we've seen a 250% increase in certain types of financial fraud in recent years. And here's what makes it complicated. In a lot of these cases, the victim doesn't know that they're a victim, and sometimes the person who helped the crime doesn't know that they were helping either. But before we start the job simulation, for today we have some audience participation. Now we want to ask you the next question on the Kahoot. So
yes, so that question is, so what percentage of victims are under 23? What do you think? So what do you think on those percentages? So you've actually said there's a big percentage on who's getting targeted, but under 23-year-olds. What do you think, Maya? And why?
So I think victims under 23 are more targeted. I think there's a lot more than you could expect.
Right.
And I think it's due to just the age, being young and not having that kind of experience.
All right, so we've maybe not seen the red flags before, so we might fall for it. Thank you everyone that's putting in their answers there as well. Thinking about the whys as well. So, you know, you're a really good expert at this. I know you've done Crime Fighters quite a few times, so you probably see the red flags straight away.
Yeah.
But hopefully after this session we'll have a bit more of awareness. I'm thinking about being under 23 as well. What are those other things that sort of like are leaving people maybe a bit more exposed to crime?
Yeah, I feel like just like a rise in the use of technology is one of the more leading culprits for this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on my phone, but I'm probably on my phone less than a 23-year-old who's got more important stuff to post about, so I can see that being. So we've got our answers in, so 53% is what people have guessed. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Can't believe that. They actually, well done everyone at home. That's very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a large number if you think about it. Over half of the population of under 23-year-olds are full victim.
Oh, that is okay. So we're looking at this. We want to give you another poll. What do you think? I know we did a little bit of discussion on why maybe 23s are targeted, but why do you think? Why do you think under 23s are targeted? Pop your answers in. Okay, because you are a bit of an expert at this, what do you think we can do to be more aware, or what do you do?
Yeah, so one thing I do is to stay safe online. I know there's a lot of websites now that you can message people that you have no connection with. So one of the best things to do is close your DMs, make sure nobody that you don't know can't message you, have your accounts on private, so random people can't see your
Would you do that with all of your social media?
Yeah, apart from LinkedIn, but there would be some like security measures I would put in for LinkedIn, so like for example, I show my full name, but I don't show other parts, like where I live and that kind of stuff.
And being a software engineer, I'm guessing you're a lot more tech savvy as well. Do you think there are things that are tech-wise that we could fall for quite easily?
Yeah, I think obviously your like devices being hacked are quite scary, and it's quite easy to get your password once you have your whole device hacked. So just making sure you don't give out your passwords and just staying safe online.
Actually, earlier you were telling me about changing up your password as well.
Yeah.
And maybe keeping hold of that in a very safe space. But changing it by just one letter or item, or what would you suggest?
I would say like if you have like digits in your password, changing them up. For example, change an I for an exclamation mark, an A for a 4, and also just regularly changing your passwords. I know at Lloyd's we have to change ours every, I think it's 3 months.
Yeah.
Just making sure that nobody can guess it.
Well, security is so important, and thank you for that advice. So we can see a gullible, maybe just because of inexperience, less experience. Social media, absolutely. All of those coming in. Thank you so much for submitting those. Right, okay, shall we get to the task? What is the job simulation right now?
Yeah, so your guys' job today is to figure out who did what and why. In any financial crime, there are 3 roles that we look for. So we have the perpetrator, the person who runs the scheme, the accomplice, somebody who helped, whether they know it or not, and the victim, somebody who has lost something, whether that's financial loss, reputational loss, or emotional loss.
So you've mentioned emotional.
Yep.
Thinking about that, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, so emotional loss, let's say you become a victim, you could be more anxious over regular things, extremely cautious, and just you could, for example, if you lose a lot of money, you could become depressed and that kind of stuff.
So it takes an emotional toll as well, which is something you not always expect.
Yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so you can see on there we've now got on the screen a connector. Give that a scan, and you want to go to the Crime Fighters one if you want to participate in this right now as well. Okay, so Maya, I'm going to pass it back to you. What is next?
Yeah, so next up we have a little video just to introduce the backstory behind the crime today. So this has been created using AI, the characters aren't real, and the scenario has just been reconstructed to help understand what type of crime, how this crime works. So we have Amara Khan, she's 17, lives with her mum and 3 sisters. She has little money but big ambitions, so she wants to go to digital art school, but since money's tight, she has to find a way to work around that. So she's been growing her TikTok channel, earning money for both her family and her dreams. And out of the blue, she receives a message from somebody called Anastasia with an offer that could change her life forever.
All right, okay, this sounds exciting. So if you got onto that connector platform, you've got an evidence pack there. So there's lots of different key pieces of evidence that we're actually going to go through ourselves as well here. So if you can't get onto it, don't worry, because Maya's going to be taking us through those. So we're going to go on to the first piece of evidence here, which I believe is a TikTok. Yeah, so we've got TikTok here. What's going on?
Yeah, so here you can see that Amara's received a message from Anastasia. Out of the blue, you can see there's no previous messages with her offer that we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, but it's from a known person, but actually that'd be quite flattering, you know, quite impressive that they've reached out.
Yeah, and obviously it's quite an impressive message to say that you've been recognised and they want you as part of the Creator Excellence Programme.
Yeah, the title itself sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, shall we go to evidence piece number 2? So this looks like it's a bank statement.
Yeah.
So what do we see here?
Yeah, so this is Amara's bank statement. You can see there's an income of £150 from the TikTok creators. That's the scheme. And then there's an outcome of £100 to Piotr.
Okay, so right now I'm like, wow, brilliant. She's earned £150 from this, so it's obviously worth doing. But she has had to send some money away, so what's that about?
Yeah, so as part of the scheme, she receives an income of £150 and she has to send £100 off to a creator that she really likes their content. But after it all, she still earns £50.
Still, you know, that's a good income coming in. So
yeah.
All right. So let's look at evidence piece number 4. Okay, so we can see it's WhatsApp, a conversation between friends. Okay, so what's going on here?
So Amara sent a message to her 2 friends, Lena and Ruth, basically saying she's part of this scheme and that they can join. She's kind of recruiting them to be part of this scheme, and everyone seems to be like agreeing to join.
Yeah, well, that's lovely, isn't it? You've got your friends in because you like what they're doing, so it seems like a really nice thing for her to do. But now that I've done some crime fighting today through our previous session, the red flag that's going off is how easy, you know, that they haven't really asked many questions about it. They haven't sort of questioned anything about it. They've just willingly said yes, haven't they? Trusted.
Yeah, so those fraudsters are looking for this kind of thing. They're looking for people who will try and recruit their friends, because it's friend-on-friend trust. If a friend came to you and said, join this scheme, you earn £50, let's say, every time you review someone, you'd most likely say yes.
Yeah, that trust can be manipulated, isn't it, really? So next piece of evidence, we have got TikTok sending a message here.
Yeah, so this is an email from TikTok, basically kind of like a security check. It's to Amara, and it says that Amara needs to give a copy of her passport and 2 valid utility bills.
To me, that sounds plausible. You know, when you start jobs, this is information you have to give, right?
Yep.
But I know that you're a crime fighter, so what do you see wrong with this?
Yeah, so obviously, when you do start a new job, you do need to provide a copy of your passport and 2 valid utility bills for security purposes. But at the same time, anyone could put a TikTok logo at the top and just falsify the whole email.
Oh my gosh, so that's actually so simple. It might not be from TikTok.
Yeah.
All right, okay, keeping that in mind. Okay, our next piece of evidence here is actually an email.
Yeah, so this is an email from Anastasia to Amara. It's basically saying that she's done such great work, complimenting her a lot, encouraging her to go further by offering her a promotion, and she's using words such as premier, like being bumped up to premier.
It's got to make you feel special, hasn't
Yeah.
it?
If my line manager sent me an email like that, I'd be very happy.
I'm sure you'll get one very shortly. Okay, should we go on to our next piece?
Yeah.
All right, so this is an email, but from Tarek. Now, we've not heard of Tarek before in this whole scenario, so what's going on here?
Yeah, so Tarek is works in the bank that Amara's part of, and he's part of that crime fighter. So he's basically doing what we're doing today. And he has been looking through Amara's account and using pattern recognition, seen a few red flags pop up in her bank account.
So unlike the fake TikTok logo that was printed on the last thing, this is genuine, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so our last piece of evidence for everyone at home to look at is an email from Amara's mum.
Yeah, so Amara's mum, Mrs. Khan, sends a message to the bank and basically says, I think my daughter's caught up in something. She's getting this money from somewhere. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't leave the house to earn this money. So I'm quite worried.
Okay, this is very worrying for her mum. And do you know what? We'll throw in one more piece of evidence as well. We've got evidence piece 9, which is central intelligence.
Yeah, so within the bank, most of the crime fighter teams share information that they have, whether that's on people, names, or bank accounts, just so that once you have those flags raised, it's much easier to find them. So it just helps fighting the crime be faster and more efficient.
So this is a really good thing, actually, that we're fighting against criminals with all of this.
Yeah.
All right, okay. So a lot of evidence there. A red flag screaming out at you throughout.
Lots.
Okay. I wonder what everyone at home is thinking. So we've got you analysing this. So you've looked over those evidence pieces, and we'd like you to kind of think about who is maybe a perpetrator in this. So we're going to bring up on another poll as well. So brilliant. So you can see all the pictures of everyone involved in there. Some of them I don't think we met in real life, actually. Some were just through emails.
Yeah.
So don't even know if they're real, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I know one person on that list got mentioned just in that last piece of evidence. So if you really look through the evidence, you will find something on everyone, which is why it's important to look through the evidence.
Right, as we have on our screen right now, it is over to you. Okay, you're an investigator now. What do you think? So we're going to bring up the next question for you here. So on our poll, we'd like to know who you think the perpetrator is. All right, so who's a perpetrator out of all of those?
Yeah, so just to reiterate, the perpetrator is the person behind the entire crime, basically the mastermind behind it. So who do you think is the perpetrator?
Well, I mean, there definitely is a perpetrator, and I would say it's Anastasia. So she's reached out, she's got Amara involved, and all of this has happened because of Anastasia. So to me, Anastasia's the fraudster.
Yeah, I think I would agree. I know Florin got mentioned once in that last piece of evidence, and it said that he's known for account layering.
What is that?
So account layering is basically somebody who creates lots of fake accounts with fake names to basically pose as other people.
So basically some people in this might not even be real people.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that is extra layer of complexity. Brilliant, we're going to wait for some more of your answers there. So who was the perpetrator? Oh, brilliant, we can see they are submitted, so we're going to have a look in a minute who you said. Looking at this as well, it's not just the perpetrator we're going to be looking for as well, there's going to be other accomplice you've mentioned as well, it's going to be looking for. So who was the accomplice? Who do you think? All right, you've made this seem it's a lot more complicated than I first thought.
Yeah.
Because you're mentioning these layering of accounts and stuff. So, oh gosh, it's really hard for me. But accomplice, yeah, Amara's an accomplice.
Yeah, I would say Amara's the accomplice. So once again, it's somebody who aided the crime. They don't have to know that they helped. They could be completely in the dark. So I would definitely say Amara, but she also recruited her 2 friends.
She did.
She did, and they did both agree to it. So you could put them in the category for accomplice as well.
Did they recruit anyone is what I'm thinking about, because if they actively recruited someone, then yes, they are accomplices. But overall you'd say actually they're an accomplice in the whole crime because they were involved in it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, it gets
So
complicated.
even without recruiting, they were still part of the scheme by receiving money and sending money out to other creators, even if they didn't recruit. So I would put them in accomplice as well.
It's a lot more complicated than you think, actually.
Yeah, there's
when
no
you're...
clear answer.
Brilliant. Okay, we're seeing a lot of Amara's. Yep, Tariq as an accomplice, perhaps. Let's see how that unravels.
From within the bank.
From within the
Amara,
bank.
Florin.
Yes, you mentioned Florin. You think he was a perpetrator and accomplice too. Peter as well. Okay, so a little bit of a lot of people, but actually when you talked about this crime, a lot of people are involved.
Yeah.
All right, so finally, we'd like to know who you think is the victim.
Yeah, so somebody who lost something, money, reputational, and emotional again.
So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to pose a question to you.
Yeah.
Could you be an accomplice and a victim?
Yeah, so since the accomplices don't have to know that they're helping a crime. So for example, Amara, she was an accomplice because she recruited her friends and took part in this scheme. But also it could lead to a lot of reputational damage. So she recruited her friends. If her friends find out as well, they could be like, you made me do this. Her mum as well. Her mum might have some emotional loss because her daughter committed this crime.
Yeah, it was hard for her mum as well. You could see she was really worried in that email, and she obviously really cares about what's going on for her daughter. When you said reputational damage, I didn't think about that. But actually, by getting caught up in this, her whole thing was wanting to put content out, and actually now her reputation might be tarnished because of that. That's really hard to sort of be aware of. Okay, so who was the victim? What did you think? I see quite a few answers have come in. Brilliant. We're just going to look at this here, which is the analysing. So we've got all the pictures on there. So talking about who the victim is in your eyes, who was it?
What, if you ask me for just one victim?
Or is there multiple?
Well, I would say that there's multiple because, as we said, the same for Amara. She lost reputational loss and emotional loss and financial loss. The same could be said for the friends she recruited and her mum and her family as well.
Yeah.
And for example, she had to send a copy of her passport and 2 valid utility bills so they could open bank accounts in her name, so identity fraud.
So looking at the screen right now, Maya, we can see that actually people have seen that quite a lot of people are actually a victim of this. I'm actually going to stop on something you said as well, which is she sent her passport details.
Yeah.
So the crime doesn't just end with the money coming in and out. There's more fraud that can happen.
Yeah, there's more fraud. So as I said earlier with account layering, for example, let's say Florin is the mastermind behind all of this. He could open an account in Amara's name and use her full name and account details to keep moving the whole crime.
It's so sophisticated, but actually coming away from today, you've got that awareness that actually the fraud doesn't just end with what you've got caught up in. It could go on to bigger things. Thank you so much for participating, everyone. Really getting your investigating, crime fighting mode on. Yeah, I'm going to pass back to Maya as well, just to say like what was the relevance of all of this and what was the conversation going on.
Yeah, so this is exactly the conversation that fraud investigators have every day. So the law doesn't always make it easy, and people running these schemes count on that confusion, and they deliberately target people who look guilty but aren't. And then what Amara got caught up in is called a money meal scam. So criminal networks recruit ordinary people, often young people, to receive money into their bank accounts and transfer it on. The person running the scheme keeps their own accounts clean, and the mule carries the risk, sometimes knowingly, often not. So for example, Amara didn't know that she was part of this scheme. And so this is real work done by real people at Lloyds Banking Group every day. Fraud investigators, financial crime analysts, data scientists, customer protection teams. And these roles exist because the crime exists. And the people in those roles need exactly the skills you've just practiced. Pattern recognition, critical thinking, the ability to hold complexity without jumping to easy answers.
Thank you, Maya. So, thank you everyone at home as well for looking into that, participating. So that might have actually picked an interest in what some of those things that you're using today, and actually there's loads of job roles that actually incorporate that. Matt, I'm actually going to ask you a couple of questions because we've got a little bit of time on this session as well. I know crime fighting is definitely a career for you, but what made you get into software engineering?
Yeah, so I did 1 year of A-levels for computer science, economics and photography. It was not a great mix, but I decided I wanted to do something more focused on just engineering and just on computers. So I did a T-level in college for software development, and then I did a placement actually in cybersecurity 2 years ago in the summer, and then that let me get this apprenticeship in software engineering.
Did you always know you wanted to do an apprenticeship as well?
So when I was in school, I actually didn't know apprenticeships existed. So when I went to go do my T-level and I did this internship and they were like, oh, you could get an apprenticeship out of it. I was like, okay, what's that? And then I did a bit more research and I figured out that you can actually earn while learning and you get the hands-on experience. And sometimes I knew I didn't want to go to uni. So it was either between going straight to work or doing this. And after I found out what it was, I was like, I want to do this.
Thank you for that. While we have got a little bit of time as well, is there any advice? We talked about your authentic self earlier on as top tips early from Amy and Kieran, but what would be your advice for anybody wanting to sort of enter Lloyds Banking Group or potential software engineering?
Yeah, so I feel like this morning they kind of stole my answers. So I would say just being yourself. I think that's one of the most important things. Lloyds is really built on the community. So just being yourself and being that kind of friendly face that people can come up to and talk to you and just being helpful. But I would also say just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Like, you're young, it's okay to make mistakes and you actually learn from them. So I know since I've started, I've made a few mistakes that I'm not particularly proud of, but I know that it's something that I will learn from, and making them once means I won't make them again.
Yeah, it sounds like it's about that fearlessness, but also that curiosity.
Yeah.
That sort of pays off, and we all make mistakes, and that's how we learn. So, yeah, I love that as a bit of your top tip. All right, since we're doing all that crime fighting, yeah, I'm going to pass you to basically give a little goodbye to this lot.
Yeah, so thank you guys. You have been brilliant investigators today, genuinely. So the evidence pack, the case notes and everything you've worked through is still on the connector platform, which was the little QR code, if you want to go back to it. And if financial crime is something that interests you as a career, because it should be, it's really fascinating, there are mentors on that platform who do this work for real.
Yeah, and are you on the platform yourself as a mentor?
I'm not as a mentor.
Right, well, we're going to have to change that, aren't we? So in the chat, let's make Maya get on that to help you out as a mentor. But as we said before, Connect platform, it's really, really worth getting on. We're going to show you some more QR codes before the end as well. So if you haven't scanned, do scan. And you've been using it as well to go on and do the different cases with us today. So just, yeah, have a look at what that information's out there for you. It's really, really helpful. Yeah, a massive thank you, Maya.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And you've also been on the chat as well yourself, so there's always a face to everything you put. We're reading it.
I was the admin in the chat, reading and just monitoring the comments. So
we make
we're
you
not
do
AI.
so much here. Yeah. There's so many slashes to what you do. And did you ever think you'd be a presenter as well when you joined your apprentice?
No, I didn't. So when I joined the apprenticeship, I was really scared of public speaking. So I thought, while I'm on this apprenticeship, I'll make the most of it, go do lots of volunteering. So I began just helping in crime fighters, went on to hosting the whole crime fighter sessions, and now to presenting on this, and also hosting the awards ceremony 2 weeks ago that Amy won her award in. So I'm really, really proud of her and everyone.
Yeah, it's amazing what you end up doing, actually pushing yourself out of comfort zones. And if you're sat at home as well and you feel like, oh, I really don't like public speaking, and then you actually look at the growth, if you do one of these apprenticeships, how much you actually learn as well. All right, I'm going to see, we're a little bit early, but I'm going to see if we are ready to outro, if we're ready. Brilliant, okay. Massive thank you, Maya, for this. And I'm sure, look on LinkedIn, you might find her. Okay, so we are going to go to our last part of the day. So that is the Q&A. So Ian and John are going to be joining me back. So we've got loads of questions to ask them. But don't worry if we don't get your questions asked today as well. There'll be ways that you can connect with Lloyds Banking Group through the careers page as well. All right, so we're going to go to a very short video, and then after that, Ian and John will be back here with me. So we'll see you on the other side. Enjoy a short break.
Let go from a place you've outgrown. You don't need another mirror. You can shine on your own. Dream it, do it. The future's yours to make. Every heartbeat is drawing out your way. Give yourself a boost, 'cause there's only one of you. You are good enough. Yeah, the world needs what you do. Hands up if you're done with hiding. Hands up if you're done with can't. Say it loud, I'm more than trying. Watch your courage start to dance. Dream it, do it. The future's yours to make. Every heartbeat is drawing out your way. Give yourself a boost, 'cause there's only one of you. You are good enough. Yeah, the world needs what you dream it, do it. The future's yours to take. You are good enough. Go and set your day away.
Welcome back, everyone. Can you believe it? We've nearly come to the end of the day.
I know, we
isn't it?
start off so early in the morning, and
So you say back of the scene stuff, you know, cameras getting ready, all our team behind, some rehearsals for us.
absolutely in there as well. And then all of a sudden we're there, but we can't leave because we did promise that we would scour through the chat. Which John, you've been trying your best.
Yeah.
With one hand.
Lots of questions.
one whole
Yeah.
hand and one not hand, and we've been working through the chat and trying to surface some of the questions that are important to you as well. So we've done our best here, guys, because we've got kind of like we promised you about 15 or so minutes towards the end. So
Absolutely, I'm about to give them an absolute grilling from what you've asked on here. So do you know what? We can just dive in.
Yep.
John, I'm actually going to come to you, apprenticeship manager over here. So when do vacancies open for roles starting in 2027, and where can you find them?
So they open in October of this year. So typically your application window will look like 4 to 6 weeks. So we would always encourage you to get in early, because occasionally if we're over subscribed with applications, we do need to close vacancies early. But October of this year is the starting point. You'll see you then bounce through the application process. So as I described earlier, you do your application at that point and then invited to a series of assessments, so an online assessment and then an assessment centre. So they'll take place over a few months typically. So it is a little bit of a patience game, if that makes sense. That's not just Lloyds, that's the way a lot of companies will do that, because you need to manage almost a pipeline of applicants, if that makes sense. And then the second question was,
where do you find them?
Where do you find them? Yeah, well that does help to know where the vacancies are. So there's probably two sources. We've probably mentioned the word connector a few times today. So the connector platform is a great place where all the vacancies are shown when they come live. I'd also say have a look at lloydsbankinggrouptalent.com. And the reason I mention that is there's this neat little button called register your interest. So say you're passionate about coding and you're thinking, I've got my eyes out for a software engineering apprenticeship or a data apprenticeship, or you're interested in finance, you can select exactly which type of discipline you're interested in. And then you get a notification that fires up, so you don't have to go and check a website every 10 minutes.
I think that's really valuable to do, because if you are particularly keen, that's something you can do today and then you'll
Exactly.
be notified. Looking at that though, what qualifications do you need to apply?
Yeah, so this very much does vary from programme to programme. So I think what we were talking about earlier today is, if you think of your level 3 apprenticeship, we would typically say give us a couple of GCSE passes as a minimum. If you're then starting to get into a level 4 apprenticeship and onwards, it's 104 UCAS points. So again, you'll break them down by different qualifications of exactly what that looks like, whether it's hires, whether it's A levels, whether it's T levels. 104 UCAS points is roughly around about BCC from an A level perspective.
Brilliant. So yeah, thank you, John. Ian, your careers lead, you deal with work experiences like so much, designing, running, being there. So question from everyone at home was, do you need work experience to be able to apply to Lloyds?
Okay, so I think we need to break down why you'd want to do work experience. Okay, so there are a couple of different things, right? So work experience can help you to build skills. So in Lloyds, we quite like the skills builder skills, so speaking, listening, problem solving, planning, teamwork, leadership, curiosity, those sorts of things in there, super important. But you can get those from your hobbies and interests and some of the things that you're doing from school as well, not just from work experience. So I think there's a bit of a panic out there sometimes that employers will be looking at you and you're 17, and if you just don't have that case loads of work experience that somehow or other, that's a big problem. You know, we know your age and we know the opportunities that are available to you, and how we look at you is all in the context of knowing all of those things. But what we would want you to do is to make the most of all of the opportunities that actually are available to you. So some of that is about surfacing those skills from the hobbies, interests and things that you do, not just about work experience. The other value from work experience is about trying to understand who it is you are and what it is in terms of a career that might suit you. So apprenticeships, I think, are a super deal. If we didn't have them in the UK, somebody would want to invent them. And there are lots of countries around the world trying to copy the apprenticeship model because it's so good. But there are so many apprenticeships out there. I can't remember, John, when you look at the standards, there's hundreds and hundreds.
Literally hundreds.
Yeah.
Literally hundreds.
So the value in work experience is about, in a way, it's like trying on different outfits to try and see what works for you. And you may need to try on a number of different outfits before you kind of like go, this is my one. And it's okay, I think, sometimes with work experience to try something and go, it's interesting, but actually what I've learned from that is I couldn't see myself doing that for any long period of time, and that helps you to narrow down the field, which can sometimes just feel overwhelming.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. I know as well, I've been out in schools with you as well, and you were saying about those other things you can do, and it's not just work experience, and you've always mentioned those essential skills and the skills builder websites. So you have a couple of resources that you think are pretty important for, or are useful for students.
Yeah, well, you know, the Skills Builder framework is something that some of you may have used inside school, but you can go to skillsbuilder.org, and inside there, the fantastic people at Skills Builder have created an area which is called Home Zone, so you can go over there for free and you can answer some questions, and it'll come back and it'll show you where your skills are. But also one of the neat things that they've done as well is they've looked at different careers, so they can also show you on a scale of 1 to 16 how you score, but also for an entry-level job, for example, as an airline pilot, let's use something outside of banking for a moment, what entry level would be required by, say, British Airways or whatever to be an airline pilot. So you can see where you match up, but also where some of the gaps are going to be. And it's a more honest description of the skills that are needed in a particular job. Then, as you said, you've got all your hobbies and interests and other ways to be able to develop those skills, not just through work experience. So skillsbuilder.org is probably your big friend here.
Yeah, a great tip. John, you did mention this morning when we were talking through apprenticeships about different lengths. We have a question here saying, how long do apprenticeships last and can you move up rank?
Yeah, very good question, particularly the latter part. So how long do the apprenticeships last? Your minimum standard of any apprenticeship is 12 months. That's kind of a government thing. You have to have a minimum of a year for the length of the programme. Ours are typically, from a level 4 perspective, a level 3 perspective, even would be 18 months. And then you can go right up to years. So if you think about a university degree, which takes years, a university degree equivalent apprenticeship takes a few years as well to get yourself through. Second part of the question about moving up rank, we heard it from Kieran this morning, funny enough. So I'm assuming by up rank you mean a promotion on the back of your apprenticeship. So the way we advertise our roles, and this does differ from organisation to organisation, but it's a permanent role that you have with Lloyds Banking Group. So it's not a case of you're on temporary probation with your apprenticeship, and you then have an outcome of yes, you stay on, or no, you don't. You will roll off into a role, and we design the scheme such as you come in on X grade, which might be a junior grade to begin with, but once you've achieved your apprenticeship, you then bounce off at that point into a next grade up. So you're already seeing kind of a promotion, and that's the pathway we put in place. But then certainly moving forward through the organisation, as you hear from Kieran, he bounced from first apprenticeship to second apprenticeship, secured himself a promotion along the way. So lots of opportunity.
Yeah, huge career ladder that you can
Exactly.
actually be jumping up. Thanks, John. Ian, I've got a two-parter for you right now, actually.
See if I can
listen in.
two-parters. See if you
Need to listen better than me.
See you this time on a Friday afternoon if we can remember both parts, right?
So, are apprenticeships like uni? So where if you fail an assignment, you try again, or if you fail, would you lose your job? So is it if you fail, you can try again, or if you fail, does that actually affect your apprenticeship? And I have got a second part, but I'm going to let you answer that one first.
Yeah, because that's quite involved already in there. Okay, I'm going to try and answer that in a slightly different way, because I think it's helpful for you to understand how an apprenticeship is constructed, and then my colleague John here will fill in anything that I miss as well. So we spend a lot of time trying to find and hire the right people into our apprenticeships, and when we've made that offer to you, it's a sincere offer because we are choosing to invest in you. So investing in you means that when you start, we're also there to provide all of the support that we think will be helpful for you to make a success of it. We go into this expecting you to be successful in that apprenticeship. So when you come on an apprenticeship, you get an amount of time during the week that's set aside for you to be able to study. You have access to a wide range of other colleagues who are at different stages of the apprenticeship, so you can kind of hear from people who are a little bit ahead of you, so you can see the pathway ahead. You're in a community of people for support. You have support from the training provider or the university that's there. You have the time off to be able to study in there, and you also have a coach who knows exactly what you need to achieve in all of the benchmarks. So really what we're trying to do is that there's a no surprises approach here. Everything is set up to be able to support you. We know the territory. We have taken 10,000 people through this route, so you have to trust us that we know what we're doing here, and then we will put the support around you all the step of the way. Now, of course, clearly at the end, particularly on certain schemes where, for example, in a finance scheme where part of your endpoint assessment, which is the way in which you qualify at the end as an apprenticeship, is going to lead to a professional qualification, then those professional exam boards can be quite rigorous in there. And we do expect you to study for them, and we do expect you to work and pass. Doesn't mean to say that fail once, out you go, but you have to work towards this. It's a massive investment that employers will always be making in apprenticeships, and we expect you to be, partnering us with that investment side by side every step of the way.
Yeah, the only kind of slight build I give on that is technically you can fail an assignment. Technically, as Ian says, when you get to the end stage, if you failed multiple assignments, just the same as university, then there could be a point where you're looking at the programme and thinking, okay, this is not passable. However, that is technically, and I can't remember a time where that's happened. I think as Ian says, it's in our interest that all the support that's around the support from the training provider, the support from your line manager, everybody's working together to make sure that people do get through any sticky points, essentially.
Yeah. Thank you. It sounds like there is a lot of support actually there.
Stacks.
I'm willing to try and make sure that you're going to get to where you want to be. Okay, second part.
Right.
I heard about the second part.
It's like one part was there.
Is a personal statement needed for an apprenticeship application, like at uni?
Oh, I love these questions because I feel like I'm going to reframe them every time in there as well. So it might be helpful if I just explain like slight difference between apply to uni, apply to an apprenticeship. So having been through this quite recently with my family, so I've seen it up close as well as knowing the theory. So with university, lovely, one UCAS personal statement, send it off to your 5, get your offers in, pick and choose from there, all nice and straightforward, one unified application form. I would love to probably say to you around the table today that the world of apprenticeships is just as streamlined. But in reality, apprenticeships are about applying to jobs in different companies, and different companies look for different things in there. So it's really difficult for us around the table today to be able to say, this is one process of applying to an apprenticeship because it will be different for every single employer. What I would say though is there are only so many questions they can ever ask you, and so although it's not as tidy as one personal statement, if you think about creating your CV as almost a portfolio of your experiences, it doesn't matter then when you're applying for an apprenticeship whether they're using an application form, asking for a CV, it's an online application form, writing a covering letter. As long as you keep your portfolio there, it's quite easy to be able to then respond to the exact process the employers need. There are only so many questions they can ever ask of you when you've lived for 17 years, but you never know. One day there may come a point in time when all of the employers coalesce around one application form, but we haven't seen that moment just yet.
Yeah, thank you. So John, when you're earning, when you learn, you're working and you're learning at the same time.
Yeah.
So how much time is spent studying versus working?
Yeah, good question. So this isn't a real exact science, but broadly how you're approaching an apprenticeship is you have 80% of your time doing the job and working back to the point, and 20% of your time doing the learning side of things. But the reason I said it's not exactly totally straightforward is that can come in kind of different formats. So potentially you might have a training provider where you do just that, and every Friday you have either a session with your training provider or you have an e-learning day, and then Monday to Thursday you do the actual day job and you implement the learning that you've got from your apprenticeship into that day job. But potentially if you had a degree level apprenticeship, you could have kind of 5-day residentials where you go away and have 5 full days of learning. So all of a sudden that's not 20% of your week, that's 100% of your week. So then you might have a couple of weeks where you're just working right the way through Monday to Friday and implementing that learning in the day job. So 80-20 is roughly the split, but not an exact science.
Got you. And so it can really depend on the different apprenticeships you're doing, also what stage you're at.
Correct.
Yeah, brilliant.
Can I just add something on there just to, because it's just something that I remember students asking me in school, it's just picking up on there. So obviously some of the learning on apprenticeship will be done online, and online resources just the same as university. If you are doing those residentials, as John said, because that's part of your programme, then as far as Lloyds Banking Group is concerned, we will make sure that you're not out of pocket for that. So I don't want anybody watching this stream and then thinking, oh my goodness, I might have to go and kind of like put myself up in a hotel somewhere to do that. If we ask you to travel because it's part of your apprenticeship or your work, then we as Lloyds Banking Group will look out for you. I can't say that that's necessarily the offer from every employer, so it might be a question that you want to kind of note down and ask of employers, but certainly for us, if we ask you to do this type of thing because it's part of your apprenticeship, then we will cover those costs.
Yeah. Talking about sort of different personalities, so there's loads of different apprenticeships you can do, so do different roles suit different personalities?
Who gets that one?
And that's you, Ian.
Is it?
I mean, it's to both of you if you would like, but
So, John, how do you think about this one? So I think our apprenticeships are kind of like split in almost two families really. So you've got kind of like the tech, data, and now AI increasingly important side of things. I would say for there, if you haven't studied computing, don't panic, because that's not necessarily a prerequisite for every single role within tech and data in there. The job description will always tell you if there's a specific A-level or T-level or advanced higher that we need. We'll always set that out for you. But then otherwise, the other side to tech, data and AI is the business functions. So there you've got risk, audit, actuarial, finance, all those sorts of things. Most of those are actually, if you go to other employers, they have very similar roles because they're the things that make businesses run, whether that's Lloyds or whether that's another household name as well. 2 questions I think help to unlock here when I'm talking to students, so hopefully I'll offer these to you and see if this helps to unlock as well. Styles of working is the first one. So you know in yourself, even at 17, whether the way in which you like to work is with lots of people around you, or whether you actually like peace and quiet to be able to focus on your work. And different jobs have different amounts of that. So you know you, and you can kind of gauge some of your thing from there as well in there. And the other thing I would suggest as unlock is how much variety do you want in a day? So some people like to have their day super planned. They like to start the day and they want to know, like, this is how the day is going to go, more or less. I've got the plan, nice and structured. And if that's you, that's absolutely fine. And some roles will work in that way. Other people much like to kind of like fly in the moment and react and all of those sorts of things in there as well. So that might be it's a way of just offering to you a way of being able to just differentiate between all of those different roles out there, because those two questions will help to unlock work style. And the last point is you spend a lot of hours in work. So you will always I sincerely believe you will always do your best work when you're happy there. And that's ultimately what it's about, above everything.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good advice, Ian. Okay, so we've got a question here that I'm sure a lot of people at home will want to know. How can you prepare for questions for the assessment, John?
Have we mentioned Connector today?
I think a little bit.
So yeah, a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, but the Connector platform is flooded with resources. You can attach yourself to a mentor on there, so you can speak live with we had this joke to me about a real live person who's be able to talk to you about their experience and give you some top tips. If you go onto the talent platform that we talked about earlier, lloydsbankinggrouptalent.com, you'll have a practice zone in there. You'll have the stages of the process that we've done at a really high level today, called out and talked through. We'll have apprentice testimonials who've talked about the experience that they've had, and again, there's the opportunity to connect.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I was going to say to you as well. You were saying about there's only a certain amount of questions that you'll get asked in your whole interviewing career.
Yeah.
So maybe it's getting to know those.
Yeah. So I think just as a build on there as well is certainly from a Lloyd's perspective. It's easier to speak from a Lloyd's perspective here. So from a Lloyd's perspective, if you apply to us, first of all, we'll be really clear with you about what that application process is going to look like the moment you start getting into the portal to apply, so you can see all the stages. Once you've applied, you will have some online tests and things to do, but we give you access to a place which is a practice area, so you can see what those questions look like. You can see samples of those questions. You can see the navigation, where the buttons are to move screens through, so that when you go to do those tests, none of that comes as a surprise, because we want to see you at your best, not somebody who's just puzzled by the layout of those things. And we will always give you feedback. And this again is another thing you might want to think about in differentiating between your employers in there. So if you spend time with us on practice on those tests as part of your application, whether we take you through to an assessment centre or not, you will get personalised feedback on how you've performed in those tests. And if you come and spend time with us in an assessment centre, again, whether you get a job offer out of that or not, you will still get feedback from us that's personalised to you. Because at the end of the day, whether you get the job with Lloyds Banking Group or not, we still want you to be successful. You know, we're a big company, a big part of the UK, and we recognise that wherever you go in your career, you have some great things to bring to build this country as we move forward. So we want you to be successful wherever that is, but clearly also at Lloyds.
You've actually fed into one of my next questions, which is what type of things would you be able to improve your chances of success?
So many in there. Know yourself, first of all. I think at the moment you can see, and I was reading some reports on the train way too early this morning, of you hear stories of people making like hundreds of job applications. And I think you're going to have a really busy year, right? Whether that's S6 or whether that's you're going into year 13, you've got such a busy year ahead of you. So be discerning. So know yourself, make really good quality applications to things that you're actually really bothered about, because otherwise you'll just spend a lot of time trying to churn stuff out. And it's very difficult for employers then to actually be able to take those applications seriously. So I think just be discerning and pick and choose the ones that you think will really work for you.
Yeah. The only slight build I'd make on that is And I'll probably use AI as an example. So AI has taken over the world, in my opinion, this minute in time. And there's kind of a bit of an expression out there that AI is not going to take your job, but those that can't use AI will potentially have their job at risk. And kind of where I'm going with this is the human skills are still the differentiator, absolutely the differentiator. So I think a couple of the guys, Amy and Kieran, both mentioned that today, is you bring your personality. So whenever you're going through any assessment, it's about you. In fact, it's ran through all the sessions. I think I heard Maya as well, when we were in the breakout room. Bring your true, authentic self, and that, you know, that effectively is going to be you that Lloyds are seeing and you that Lloyds want to hire, and other employers are available.
There's a great person that we know in his phrase, so I'm going to acknowledge him here in case he's watching it, and then just goes, "You just stolen my phrase." I'm not going to call him out by name. And he, you know, the way that he puts it is, you know, let the computers do the ordinary, but that's so that as humans we can do the extraordinary, and that's the key here is rise above the AI and then show us what you're going to bring as those human skills. What are you going to bring us that's extraordinary that the AI is not going to be doing?
Yeah, it's such a lovely quote. Okay, we've got a little bit more time for some questions, so I'm going to get these in as we have these down here. So looking at apprentices, do they get to work on real projects or just to shadow people? I'll ask this to both of you because they also want to know how much support do you get from your manager and team as well. So do you do real projects or are you just shadowing?
Absolutely, it's real projects. I think we said anything different there, there'll be a lot of surprise. So again, I'll reflect back to the experts who were in the room earlier. So Kieran, to quote him, what he said this morning was, "I get to do this from early doors," essentially. So we talked about a project that he had that's been embraced. He's had the trust to go and do it, and he's all of a sudden presenting to the exec. So he's doing, and this is a guy who joined at 18, he's working for the bank for a couple of years, he's doing real work. Shadowing, and I'm not sure what your views are on shadowing, but I don't see that for our apprentices.
I don't think so, and also remember that as part of your apprenticeship, the way in which you're going to pass the apprenticeship is you have to evidence the application of your knowledge. It's not quite like university where you might get away with certain courses where you've got to learn something and then be able to write it in an essay. The whole essence of the apprenticeship is learn and do. So you have to be able to show that you do things, which is why it really isn't shadowing. I think the only other build in there as well, I think, is what we've seen today. Hopefully you'll agree from having met our apprentices, is that the experiences that they're getting aren't just through their apprenticeship alone. We put a call out to them and said, would you like to be part of this Careers Live broadcast? Amy has been an award winner. Maya was on a stage a week or so ago in front of an audience of 120 people. So there's such a wide range of things that our apprentices get into, and what always strikes me when I speak to teachers in there is when they meet our apprentices is they're really surprised at what the shortness of the time from the time that they've been with us to the amount of trust and responsibility that they give, that they're given.
And they rise to the occasion, don't they?
And that's the thing, they rise to the occasion. I'm sure you agree today that they've all been extraordinary in there. Yes, they're apprentices, but they've been wholly professional in this broadcast today, and all credit to them. They're in the green room, so thank you guys.
Yeah, hopefully they're listening in for that phrase. We're just going to have one more question because actually Skillsfest is coming to an end. For now. Ian, you're going to like this one. How do you get your certificate?
Yes. Well, I know some of you started off asking where your certificate was, and we were holding that back for good reason, right? Because if you're going to go and get a certificate, you want to be able to earn it. Because at the end of the day, that reminder that if you're going to start parading certificates in front of employers relating to work experience, you can expect those employers to be able to ask you in detail about that experience. So if we'd given you that certificate at the beginning and you'd grabbed it and then ran away, and then you met me and I asked you all about Careers Live, you would have found this a little bit difficult, or Skillsfest Live, you would have found that difficult. So Ben, who's behind the scenes at the moment, will be posting that link. That's for those of you who've come here through Young Professionals. So thank you to our friends at Young Professionals for supporting us today with marketing for that as well. So that's SurveyMonkey, you fill in that SurveyMonkey, and then Young Professionals will be in touch with your certificate in there. For those of you who come through Young Professionals, if you came through on Eventbrite, then you go away with our thanks, but not a certificate in there. But you had all of our experience, just not a piece of paper.
Thank you both. Can't believe it. That's a Skillfest Live. That's a wrap on it.
It's a wrap.
It's come to a close. Hopefully you got some really great information out of that. You can go away, you've got some awareness, but you also know what to do with some next steps. Ian, if they do have any other questions, what's the best thing to do after Skillfest is ended?
Oh, well, as John would say here, you go to Connector, if we haven't actually told you this by now. But no, seriously, there's a few really good things coming up your way. If you're joining us today from Scotland, there are still some places left on work experience this summer in Edinburgh. You can see those on the Connector platform to apply for those. Next Tuesday at 5 o'clock is Lloyd's Careers Live, which is like our baby brother show to this one. And you won't want to miss out on that one, actually, because we're going to be exploring AI in job applications, because there's a huge debate at the moment. My LinkedIn feed is filled with AI good versus evil, cheating versus advantage and whatever. So we're going to take a different approach, and we're going to show you, for those of you who are currently in year 12, going into year 13, S5 or S6, we're going to be showing you some really positive ways of being able to leverage AI to just help you through that really busy final year. So that's next Tuesday. You can find the details again on Eventbrite or also on Connector, and that's 5 o'clock. That'll be live streamed. All of Careers Live and this live stream today is on our YouTube channel, so I know sometimes we cover things a bit fast, so you might want to go over things. You can always find those past things, which leaves us to the, are we ever going to come back and do Skillsfest again? Drum roll. Drum roll. I won't do drum roll because we'll break the mics. Drum roll. So yes.
I certainly won't be doing a drum roll.
I'm going to keep my distance from you. So yes, we are. The great news. And Skillsfest will be back for real, as well as its live streamed version. So we'll be back on tour in the autumn, very soon in the autumn as well, actually. So hang around Eventbrite and watch that one for your tickets. And we will be visiting in there. Let me just see if I can get my locations right. Skillsfest tour for the autumn will be in Bristol, we will be in Birmingham, we will be in Leeds, we will be in Edinburgh, and we will be in London. And we have a mini Skillsfest that's going on in Manchester as well, that's during this summer. So you will...
So much going on.
There is always so much going on, but there's so much to say.
In a good way.
Yeah. Well, got to say a massive thanks. So shout out to as well Kieran, Amy, Ben and Maya for their sessions today and being here. Massive thanks to John. Even a broken arm couldn't stop him doing Skillsfest Live. And finally, a massive thanks to Ian. None of this would be possible without him. He makes this happen. So got to congratulate you on that.
And those guys behind,
yeah,
who you don't get to see, but also they keep us sane. They keep all the microphones on, and they sort out all of the technology for us. So thank you to you guys as well.
Yeah, all of the crew, massive thanks. That's it. That's a goodbye from me. I'll let you all say goodbye as well. But these guys have some long journeys to go on. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your half term if you're on it right now.
Yeah, enjoy it, guys. We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Bye, folks.